Welcome back everyone after the break. So if you feel ready, we can move on and continue with the next 4 questions. So look at the questions. You have 2 minutes, everyone. Let's go. All right, everyone, time is up. Let's have a look at the answers together. So for the first question, the sentence starts with had the company. Had the company, and the verb used is sell. Now, actually, this is a very easy question if you know the structure. So if type 3, in this sentence, actually we are using if type 3, all right? So if type 3, normally we say if the company had been sold, right? If the company had been sold. Now here we have the inverted version of if type 3. For this reason, in the inverted form, we use had the company been sold. All right, so if type 3 works like this in the inverted form. For this reason, as an answer, you have had the company been sold. You just place had to the beginning of the sentence. What about, let's remember here, if type 1 and if type 2. So in if type 1, normally you would say something like this. If you see him, all right, if you see him, you need to, I don't know, you can complete the sentence, all right? In the converted version of if type 1, we use should at the beginning of the sentence, everyone, if you remember. So, should you see him, you, and it goes on like this. So, should you see him is the inverted version of if type 1. Had the company been verb 3 is if type 3. What about if type 2? Let's give an answer to if type 2 as well. So if type 2, normally you would say something like this. If I knew the answer, I would tell you, right? So if I knew the answer, I goes like this. So this is the normal version of if type 1. In the converted version, we use were I to do something. Were I to know the answer, all right? Were I to know the answer, I would goes like this. So people, very shortly, this is the summary of if type 1, 2, and 3 in the inverted version, okay? So the answer is C in this question. Let's move on to the next question. So in the next question, again, we had a beautiful vocabulary item, which was to persuade, all right? So persuade someone means actually convince someone. And usually we use convince and persuade someone to do something. So it goes like this, all right? So I convinced him to stop smoking. You would say something like this. Or I persuaded him to stop smoking, all right? So here, the manager tried hard to persuade him, but Larry was determined to leave the company. So Larry really wanted to leave the company. So here we have a surprising result actually. The manager tried hard to stop him, but he was determined to leave the company. For this reason, in surprising results, we use even though, although, and though, since there is something unexpected happening. Normally, you would expect someone to stay in the company if the manager is really trying hard to persuade this person, really trying to make him stay, all right? Okay, so this is that. I think there's nothing else that I want. Oh yeah, with in spite of, we also have the same meaning, the surprising result with in spite of, okay? But after in spite of, we always use a noun, okay? So you need a noun. But if you look at here, we have a sentence. The manager tried to persuade him. We have full sentence, so in spite of does not work here. And the same goes with due to actually. After due to, we always have a noun, all right? So for this reason, due to and in spite of do not work here, and due to does not work because of the meaning as well. The meaning does not fit here, all right? So the next question, people, the answer was of. Now, of all the candidates that applied for the job, Tom Ribbons, actually we have the writer Tim Robbins, but this one is Tom Ribbons, was probably the most qualified one. But why is it of? So here, actually, of has the same meaning with among, okay? When you are using of at the beginning of the sentence, of plus noun, it means among, okay? Then in the next sentence, you usually use a superlative form. So if you look at here, the most qualified one. So it means among all the candidates that applied for the job, he was the most qualified person, okay? So if we wanted to give another example for this one, you can use something like this. Of all the companies I have worked for, Zimbo was the most generous one to the employees, all right? So here you are using the exact same structure of all the companies I have worked for. So among all the companies, Zimbo was the most generous one. So here again, you have a superlative structure in the next part. Okay, this is very important. If you're using of at the very beginning of the sentence with a noun, you need superlative in the following part, and this is a very common structure, everyone. Okay, if we move to the next question, this was a vocabulary one, and here we see after the vocabulary item, we are using of, okay? So here, the answer is, last Monday, a famous business owner in Dallas was convicted of bank fraud and money laundering. So convicted of, always used with of, okay? Convicted of means, convicted of something means have been found guilty in court, okay? Have been found guilty in court, all right? So convicted of has the meaning of being found guilty of doing something, okay? So others do not actually fit in terms of meaning. So here, if you look at it carefully, convince someone is right here, persuade someone to do something, okay? It has the same meaning with persuade someone, and in terms of meaning, it doesn't fit here, okay? So if you guys are okay, let's move on to the next set of questions. Now here you see 4 other questions, okay? Please look at the questions carefully. Now you have 2 minutes to answer the questions. Let's go. All right, time is up, everyone. All right, so if we look at the first question, Hamdi Ulukaya known as the Yogurt King, is the founder of America's most popular yogurt brand, Chobani. Okay, now this is a hard question. There is actually a short form of adjective clauses in this sentence, people. Normally, this sentence was Hamdi Ulukaya, all right? So let's just write it here. Hamdi Ulukaya, who is known as the Yogurt King, is the founder of, it goes like this, okay? So normally we have an adjective clause here with who is known as the Yogurt King. Now, interestingly, people, when this is the case, we can actually omit who and is and have the sentence something like this. Hamdi Ulukaya known as the yogurt king, is something something. For this reason, the answer is D actually, okay? Known as the yogurt king. Now, if we wanted to give another example here, all right, so we can do something like this. It will be hard to replace the products stolen, sorry about the spelling everyone, stolen from the store, all right, stolen from the store. Now, if you look at this sentence, it will be hard to replace the products stolen from the store. Now, in this sentence, we have a hidden which are products. Which products? The products which are stolen from the store. So in this kind of a sentence, it is always possible to get rid of who, which, that, and am, is, are. For this reason, we have only the word stolen here, okay? It's a very common form. All right, so let's move on to the next question, all right? If this is okay. The mobile app FitRaise enables individuals to do something with money for charity organizations while they run, walk, or cycle. Now, this is a beautiful question. But first of all, before giving the answers, we have a beautiful structure here. Enable someone to do something. All right, so enable someone to do something. It means make something possible for someone to do, okay? So for example, you can use something like this. You can say something like this. This software enables users to, you always need to here, to cut production costs significantly, okay? Production costs significantly. This is a beautiful sentence, everyone. This software enables users to cut production costs significantly. So enable someone to do something, okay? Make it possible, all right? But what does this app make it possible for individuals to do? You are actually here raising money, everyone. So you don't rise money, okay? You don't increase money. You raise money to do something, okay? So raise money means put enough money together to do something in the end, okay? So for example, you can give an example like this. I want to start my own business, provided I can raise even, okay? Provided I can raise enough money, okay? I want to start my own business, provided that I can raise enough money. I can put together enough money to do it, okay? So this is the answer for this one. Let's move on to the next question. Now, for this question, you really need to understand the meaning. Gerhard Gassner, a 58-year-old employee of the famous company MGG. Now here, we see that this person is an employee, everyone. He's an employee. He's working there, okay? He's just working there. He's a worker there, okay? So he says that he works every day. The company belonged to him. The company was him, okay? So the company is not his company, but he works in the company as if the company belonged to him. As if and as though, people, we also have the word or linker as though. They are used for unreal imaginary situations, okay? Situations. So here, the person is imagining that the company belonged to him, okay? But it is not actually, it does not actually belong to him, all right? So here you have an imaginary situation. Now, let's say you have a colleague in your workplace. His name is Tim, okay? Tim treats us as if he were the boss. This annoys me so badly, okay? So he is not the boss, all right? So he actually is not the boss, right? He is not the boss, but he treats us as if he were the boss, or as though he were the boss, we say, right? All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. This was an easy one. The company said it will do something with its Facebook and Instagram accounts and now stop promotional posts on Twitter. All right, so stop promotional posts. Now Twitter is X now, but still it doesn't matter. So it means they are trying to actually stay away from the social media. So the company said it will delete its Facebook and Instagram accounts and stop promotional posts on Twitter. Okay, you don't hack your own Instagram account. You don't do that. You can register for, well, first of all you need for here. Okay, register for something. You can register for it, but really it doesn't fit in terms of meaning here. You are stopping your promotional posts, so it means you are not actually registering for accounts, okay? All right, so this is it, everyone. Let's take a short break here and we will continue after the break. See you after the break.